the mouse. Now when it comes to the keyboard, it's the primary input device used to enter data or instructions in the computer. Depending on what instruction, which kind of data, what you want to enter in the computer, entering by typing, we use the keyboard. So if you're using a laptop, the keyboard is embedded. If you're using a desktop, at least you have the keyboard separate, though attached the system unity behind there. So we need to know the keyboard and their functionalities, those keys and their functionalities. So part of the keyboard include, as you can see, that's the keyboard that I'm talking about over there. Those parts, I think it is clear, you can see. Those sections I may not talk about, you can go through it. Then we have those different parts. Now we assume the keyboard is now divided. So when I press the button, you can see that the whole setup of the keyboard is that one. And then we have the typewriter keys, those keys that you're going to type that section alone. So if the keyboard is in front of you, you can see that you can demarcate those sections. But the first one is the entire keyboard, but we have also those different sections. Then we have on top there the functional keys, which run from F1 to F12. And then we have the numeric pad, which is basically to do with the digital digits. If you want to type anything to do with letters, digits, then it's better you activate that part, other than looking for those letters, those digits on the typewriters. So that section is demarcated for that. It has all the operators, the plus, the minus, the division, the 1, 2, 3. So how do you activate that part? When you look at that section, we have num lock, whereby when you press it, you can see the light on the keyboard. That means that section is activated. If you press it again, that section is deactivated. So sometimes people press and they don't see the digits, then they wonder why. So it is just num lock that you had not activated. Then we have the arrow keys. Arrow keys, sometimes called directional keys, sometimes called cursor keys. So those ones, when you press those keys, the cursor, depending on where you want the cursor to move. So they are well positioned that when you press on the one moving up, the cursor goes up, the one moving down, pointing down, the cursor moves down, left and right, and so forth. So let's look at the meaning of those different keys. But this one's a bit long, you'll be able to read through. But escape, when you press anything on the screen and you don't need it, you can avoid it or cancel it by pressing escape. Escape is just that button on the top left corner of your keyboard. It is there, ESC. We have F12 if you want to save your work for the first time. Control S, you want to continue saving your work. And many others, as you're going to see as you scroll through. Control B, those are shortcuts. So there are people who prefer shortcuts and they don't want to keep moving the cursor, click here. They are used to the keyboard. So we have all those shortcuts are listed there, that if you get acquainted to them, you can just apply them. So we have Control I, as you're going to click and see all of them. Then we have these other specific keys like Shift key. Shift key is used to activate the upper characters on any key. Now when I talk about character, what is a character? Character, those are fonts. Fonts, those are the letters which are on the keyboard. For example, Q, W, E, R, T, Y, U. Those are the ones we call characters or fonts when it comes to computing. So activating the upper characters. For example, on a key which has 6, say 7, 8, 9. On 5 you can see there is a percentage sign. 6 there is that upper arrow. We have 7 and 8 star, 9 open, 0 close bracket. So if you want, for example, a percentage, then you have to press shift down and then you press the button that has that character you want. So that is when we apply shift. Then we have enter key. Enter key is to take you to a new line. For example, you're typing and you feel you want to move to the next line, you press enter. Enter key can be used in many ways. You want to save, you want to enter, you want to end, you press enter. But basically when it comes to typing, is when you want to move to a new line, that's when you press enter. We have caps lock. Caps lock is switching between lower and uppercase, capital letters and small letters. So on that key, when you press and you begin typing, you see that you're typing in either upper, in capital letters, or small letters. So lowercase is for small letters, uppercase is for capital letters. Backspace, deleting characters to the left. We have delete also, erasing characters to the right. So backspace and delete keys, they're all used in the same way, but in different directions. So depending on where the cursor is, when you press backspace, it erases those characters to the left, and if you press delete, it erases characters to the right. Then we can now look at these different terminologies. For example, file. What is a file? A file is a collection of related content that is stored as a single unit, and a folder is a directory where many files and subfolders are stored. Then we have icons. Icons are those physical features or images used to represent information within the computer. Well, back to file and folder. When you open this application that we are going to use, since it is containing almost related information, that's what we call a file. Then if you open another application, since it is also going to contain the same information, almost related, it is also called a file. So in other words, when you open a Word document and you save, that's a file. When you open Excel document and you type some work, you save, that's a file. When you open PowerPoint and so on, those are called files. Now a folder is where you can keep all different files, different folders. It's just like you see your bag, whereby many things you can put in there. So even a folder is not, it's just a collection of everything. Okay, then we have now we get back to the real application, word processing software. This application, this paper consists of 5 topics, as I had said earlier, which include word processor, spreadsheet, PowerPoint, database, that is Microsoft Access, and then publisher. So we are going to look at one by one. And so the first one is a word processor, which can also be called word processing software, as we can see. So that software is used to create, edit, format, save, and then print documents that contain text and graphs. So the application itself does not print, it is the printer that prints, but we use some features there to print the document. Now what is word processing? Word processing is the creation of documents on a computer. We mean the real activity as you're typing on the computer is what we call word processing. So it can also refer to the activity of manipulating text, characters, and sentences to make the final document free of errors and that attract to look at. Examples of word processing software, we have number 1, Microsoft Office Word, Lotus Word Perfect, Abbey Word, Open Office Writer, Word Pro, WordPad, WordStar, Lotus Notes. But you have to note that the most used application is Microsoft Word. Now to take you back to the other paper, those are examples which can be asked in paper 1. But when you write Microsoft Office Word and then you write MS Office Word with the M small, that will be wrong. You'll be marked wrong. But that M must be written as a capital letter. That's when it will be considered right. Those are brand names. So if you write the way you want, you may not score there. or else write it in full. When you write it in full, no one will mind about the capitalization. You can write Microsoft, all of them in small letters. Then when you look at WordPad, is the one that comes with operating system. If you want, you don't have these external applications like Word, those ones there that can be installed on the computer as a package, then you can use WordPad, but only that is limited in features. Okay, what are the advantages of word processing software? We are going to look at many of them, but this question comes in comparison with the typewriters. Way back, people were using typewriters to type before the introduction of this application. Now, when this application was brought, they realized a lot of advantages with this one over the typewriter. That's why this question is common. Though typewriters are almost phasing out, but at least in some other institutions or organizations, some people use typewriters for their own purpose. So when you compare the typewriter and word processor, you find that this one carries many advantages as compared to the other one. So number one, it is easy and fast to make changes to a document. When it comes to the typewriter, once you type the document, you cannot make changes. Instead, you just keep moving, or you can do away with that document, or else you close through, you cancel what you didn't want. So you find it that with tidy work. When it comes to this one, wherever you find there is a mistake, you can easily make those changes. Documents can be saved for future use, which is not with the typewriter. You type once and that's all. With this one, you can type your document, save it, keep using it over and again. Then we have, it creates good looking documents quickly and easily. Definitely when you look at a word processed document as compared to a typewriter document, there is quite a very big difference. So that one you can even look by your eyes and you see many features that create documents that look professional and visually appealing. Those features that if you want to modify a document, you want to underline, many features that you can do with this document, unlike with the typewriters. Documents can normally be previewed before being printed. Definitely, it's upon you. Do you just print, or you want to look at how it's going to look after it has been printed? So you can preview and see how it's really going to look after printing. It is convenient to create form letters, mailing labels. Typing form letters, mailings with the typewriter is not there, but when it comes to this one, you can do with it. Typed errors can be corrected before printing. That's now after previewing. You say, oh, this is wrong. You can correct all those errors before you can command the printing, because most people print after they check for mistakes after they are printed. That would be wastage of resources. Let's look at the popular features of word processor. As you can see them here: word wrap, find and search, replace, spelling. As you can see all of them. What's word wrap? Let me just explain. When you're typing your document, you find that when the line ends to the right margin, the cursor automatically goes to the next line. So it is a feature in Word which allows you to type your work without pressing the enter key to the end of the document and takes you to another line. Find and search can locate all occurrences, all files, all characters in your document by just pressing Ctrl F, and then you find if a document has 20 pages, 30 pages, 100, 1,000 pages, you can look for what you want. Spelling and checkers, if the document tends to highlight for you where errors are, wrong spellings, wrong grammar, and you can easily identify them and correct. Thesaurus, when you want to look for the same meaning of those words, you can use. For example, you may come across a very complicated word according to you. So you can right click on it and then you click on thesaurus or synonymous, and you'll be able to find out different meanings which can give you an easy understanding of what you're doing. Mail merge, a feature also which creates form letters, mailing labels, envelopes. Now when it comes to mail merge, we mean mail itself is a message. Merging is to combine. So if you have a document that you want to send maybe to different people, which we may call recipients, you can type one document and merge by creating a simple database behind, so that the document now picks those different people or recipients where the document is being sent, especially when you are doing it over the internet, all the emails, or even printing. Automatic page numbering, when you click on number page, they all come at once, instead of you writing this is page 1, page 2, page 3, until what if there are 1,000 pages. So you just click on page layout, you go to numbering, and the pages will be numbered automatically. So all those are many features that we may not exist until you do them practically. The clips, pictures, all those ones are there. Formattings, you want bold, you want to change size, whatever that you want are there. Save as and save. Save as you can see how it is defined here. When you want to keep your document for the first time, when you want to give a file a new name, or when you want to change the file type, which kind of file are you dealing with? That's the file type. Then save, that is if the file is already saved in the document, just keep clicking on save the existing changes. So the file exists, whatever you add, just click on save. You don't need to save it again. Now we are going to launch our application. We have seen the keyboard, we have gone through the keyboard, we have seen all that, how all those keys are used, and now we are going to launch, so that we do it practically. But you launching this application, we have got 3 methods. The first method is the usual one, where you go to start button on the taskbar, then you look for all programs, then you look for Microsoft Office Suite, and then you will select MS Word 2007, 2010, 2021. All of them are there. Method 2, you can click on MS Word if the shortcut is created on the start menu there. And then we have method 3, where you click on start button and type the word win word and press enter button on the keyboard. I want to recommend the third one, because the first one, the second one is easier for everyone. Why do I recommend and encourage you to master the third one? Simply because you may not find a shortcut on the screen. You may click on start and then you go to program. You may find that Microsoft Office Suite is hidden, but when you look at the document, the file is open. So you may find that you find it hard to open the document. So what you do, you press the Windows button on the keyboard and the R. It's a shortcut, a combinational key. You press Windows button down without releasing, you press R, and it will bring for you a command button whereby you're going to type win word. You type it in small letters and then you press enter. It will open for the document. So it comes in to save us from wasting time if you've not seen, and from raising the hand that you're not seeing the Office word there. So those are the 3 methods you can use, and then you start. Now when you start, you're going to save the document. You're going to save the document, but now you need to consider the following: the file name, which provides space for the name; save as type, which identifies the file format. Do you want to save it as PDF? Do you want to save it as Word document? Do you want to save it? There are many. When you click to save as, there are many formats that you may reserve for yourself. Word document, MS Word is saved with a default extension, which is .doc. That is for the previous package of years 2003 backwards, but from 2007 onwards it will be saved as .docx. That is the current ones. So any of them you can be marked right. All this I explained basically for paper 1. Practicals, you can do the work practically and you have all the marks, but when it comes to paper 1 you find it challenging to answer those questions. So you need to know everything in practical so that you are able to apply when it comes to paper 2. This is a file extension .doc. Why do we talk about file extensions? All different files have different extensions, file extensions, which file extensions identify that particular type of file. So why do we talk about file extension? 1, to identify the file type of that document for easy searching, because when you type only the file extension, it is going to pick out only those files that have that file extension. So our point is for easy searching of the document, to distinguish file from other files. Definitely, if you want Word, it will bring only the Word. If you want Excel, it will bring only Excel. If you want graphics, it will also have different file extensions and many others. Okay. Location, because when you are saving the work, you must know where you are saving your work. So we have seen the file name, the name you're going to give to the document, which kind of file type, and then now where do you want to save it. You can save your file on a desktop, on local disk C, or D, or E, whatever it is there. And also my documents, you can also save it in downloads. Now, when you're saving there, you yourself, you should know where you are saving your work, because you don't need to ask any other person, where did I save my work? It's you to know that I've saved my work on desktop, and therefore next time when I come, I'm able to locate it. So when you click to save as, it shows you all those locations. I have this sample. Given the file path, C user desktop abu letter.doc, identify the following. This is a question. When you're saving, your file goes through what we call a file path. Now, when you're locating it, it's you to click start, go to C, click on my computer, go to C. Where did you save? That's what we call a file path. So there, that question is C user abu letter.doc, and we want you to identify the following here. Which one is the file name? Which one is a file type? Which one is a profile? And which one is a folder, depending on that file path. And which one is a location? That question is common in paper 1, because as you're doing the practicals, they want you to understand. So if you're asked just verbally or locally, where did you save your file? Can your mind tell you where the file is located? So assuming someone calls you on phone that I am checking on your computer, but I want to see the file you told me. Can you really tell the person where to find the file? So it is that question. Describe the steps you would take when saving a word processed document with a file name later in a new folder named app on the desktop. By the way, when you're saving this question on your computer, you find it very easy to save. You've clicked start, go open your document, office button, save as, you save. But can you describe? It's a practical question which you can be asked in paper 1. Okay, now after us launching, we shall now do type. We shall do the typing. After you have opened the document, you have it on the screen, and it's now your turn to start typing. We shall look at all these formattings that make the document look professional and pleasant to other people who may read through your document. And we shall look at the formatting, the editing as you type. you want to format. As you type, you may need, as you continue typing with time to come, you may need to edit your work, making those changes. So the question is, what is formatting? What is formatting? Formatting refers to enhancing the appearance of a document. How do you want your document to look like? How do you want your headings, your titles look like? What do you want to do with your document so that it looks pleasant in the eyes of others? That's what we call formatting. Now, this word is used in two ways. We have formatting a document or formatting a text, and then we have also formatting a disk. When it comes to formatting a text, it is the definition we are seeing here. When it comes to formatting a disk, because they have the same spelling and same pronunciation, formatting a disk refers to preparing the disk for initial use. When you buy a CD, when you buy a flash disk, before it is used, you must first format it so that it is prepared for initial use. Those are the two ways we can talk about formatting. What are the formatting attributes? We have the fonts. Which fonts? We mean the characters, the letters that you see on the keyboard. When you type, for example, the word tower, academic, the word tower has those letters as you can see. Academics, those are letters combined to form that word. So those letters are the ones we call fonts, as I had explained earlier when I was talking about the keyboard. So once you combine them, you have fonts. So what are those fonts? How do you change those fonts? So we talk about font styles, font colors, font sizes, font types. How do you want the word tower look like? Do you want it big? Do you want it small? So you talk about now size. Do you want it in color blue, color red, color green? That's font color. Then you also talk about background, changing the background of the text or the whole entire document. We also have underlining, bold, italicizing, superscript, subscript, strike through, double strike through, outline, engrave, emboss, as we are going to see them practically. Now, that is to do with formatting. Then editing. Editing refers to making changes in a document. For example, you type the word Tower Academic with big space. So, you may see that it is not fitting. So when you bring it close, then that's what we call editing. Or you may type the word Tower Academia, and yet the word is Tower Academic. Then you correct academia to academic. That's what we call editing. Alright, if we are to move on, when formatting, when you want to do all those changes, one, you must first highlight or select the text that you want to edit, format, or to make the changes. For example, everyone, when you wake up, you brush, you wash the face. You can't tell that the first thing is to wash the legs. Yes, it is the leg you have selected. You cannot brush the leg. You know that particular part of your body that you're going to brush. So the selection you make is what you will be changing. So you must first select, you must choose which word you want to highlight. You cannot say that I want to change the appearance of the heading, then you select the entire document. No, it is the heading that you have to select and make those changes too. Okay, how do you make those selections? We look at different methods. One, we can use the keyboard. When using the keyboard, press down the shift key and then the arrow keys to highlight. In other words, first click where you want to select from. So once the cursor is blinking from there, press down the shift and then use these arrows. Do you know the arrows point different direction? There's one pointing up. When you press the one pointing up, the highlight will go upwards. When you press the one pointing down, the highlight goes downwards. The one pointing to the left, the highlight goes to the left, and then the one pointing the right, the highlight goes to the right. So that is to do with the keyboard. When using a mouse, hold down the left button and highlight in any direction. So now you're using the mouse, you click to where you want to start the highlighting from, then you move the mouse to where you want it to end, and that is the mouse. Okay, so after that session we shall look at many others, but I wanted us to first stop here on the mouse and the keyboard. Now that is our first session. The next one will be hands-on, launching our document. Then we start looking at those different features on the application, how to go about them, how to navigate, and then we shall look at these other terms like copying, cutting, and pasting. Okay, so thank you very much for being a good trainee. I pray that you give it time so that you go through all this that you have on our site, and we shall pick on from there next time. Thank you.